is the correct result. Craig Mottram breaking the 4-minute barrier. Mitch Keeley also guessing for Australia in second, and Limoncello in third position in that men's mile. And let's look at the Celtic Cup overall match result as well, with just one event to go. That's the medley relay. That's where we are at the moment. Well, Scotland, they're in a commanding lead, 31 points from Ireland in second, 26 points, and Wales in third in 15 points. Now, I've been joined by Alan Wells again, former Olympic 100-metre champion. Alan, good to see you. What's impressed you so far tonight?
Well, I think Lee McConnell's 200 was very good, and the mile was excellent as well. It's world class, you've got to say. And but it's nice to see some good performances from Scottish athletes. And having the Celtic Cup here in Grangemouth, it's inspiring for the Scots, you know.
It certainly is. We're going to finish tonight with a medley relay.
Yes.
Just explain how that works.
I don't know. I ran a few, and I won 2 Scottish medley relays. I ran the 400, there's 2 200s and I think an 800. So you work that one out, John.
Well, it should be a cracking conclusion to this Celtic Cup. Let's go to the commentators in this final event.
Well, we'll give some sort of explanation to this once they get underway, but certainly there is the lineup. Lane 3, lane 1 and 2 not being used. Ireland in 3, Scotland in 4, Wales in 5, and the Bank of Scotland development team in lane 6. Well, it'll be a 400 metres first leg. Then the second leg will be for the men over 200 metres, but they will run the first bend of the second lap in lanes, and then they'll break at the beginning of the back straight. So I can't wait for the changeover when they come to the normal 200-metre mark, because the second 200 metres will be undertaken by the second 200-metre runners for male runners. Then the last leg will be an 800 metres, and we're back to the women. So for Ireland here, that's Elaine McCaffrey. She will run the 400 metres, and she will hand to David Hines and Brian Doyle, and then Ciara Everard will run the last leg, the 800 metres. So let's have a look at the Scottish quartet. Kerry Easton, of course, well known. Kerry Easton, she's returned from injury, saw her miss the entire 2006 season. Got a 400 best of 52.44. She's a relay, experienced in relays. She goes to Nick Smith, and then Jamie Cull, and then Lynsey Sharp. We'll catch up on the other teams in a moment. We'll let them get underway, and then we'll bring you up to date. That's Emma Kemp there for the development side, and inside her is Anwen Rees for Wales. And so 400 metres, the first leg. Double points for this, 6.42. So it's very, very important indeed. The stagger is quite big, as one expects in a 400 metres of this kind, and all of a sudden for Wales there, Anwen Rees is going very strongly indeed, and I would expect right on the outside, I would expect Kerry Easton, rather, the Scotswoman in the middle, second from the right of your shot, also to perform quite well here.
Yes, it's an interesting event, this, Stuart. Very, very rarely seen in the UK. It's far more common in the USA, but this looks very tight, doesn't it, at the front end there, with the Scottish athlete going well. Yes, Kerry Easton looking very strong. She's a 52.4 runner. That's international class running over 1 lap, and she's going to hand over here with a very, very useful lead indeed.
Well, we're talking about the competition overall, and Ireland well down at the moment, and that's Elaine McCaffrey. Now then, we're going to go for 200 metres now, and David Hines for Ireland, Nick Smith for Scotland, and Nick ran very well in the 100 metres. He came second. Now they've got to run in bends for the first part, the first bend, and you watch them cut to the inside, and then it's going to be very, very interesting to see the changeover. So Scotland lead, Wales in second place, Ireland in third, development in fourth, and it's a big lead Scotland have got, and Jamie Cull takes over. So Tim, it's hotting up, but Scotland miles in the lead.
Well, it's an unassailable lead. I mean, Scotland need to drop the baton and fail to finish the race to not take the Celtic Cup. That's the fact of the matter. Huge lead here from Scotland as they come down the home straight with just the 800 metres to run now, and it should be a formality. Although 2 laps, Stuart, who knows what can happen.
Yes, indeed. Well, Lynsey Sharp goes off for Scotland. And Lynsey Sharp was 800 metre semi-finalist at the World Youth Championships in Ostrava. She's the daughter of former Scottish and Great Britain international sprinter Cameron Sharp. Commentated on him a few times. An 800 metre runner, Carol Lightfoot. So this is the young woman who has the about 40 metres lead. Now, for Ireland, we've got Ciara Everard, and it's very, very early, but that is a very big lead. So Scotland 1, Ireland 2, Wales 3, the development squad in 4th place.
I can't see her being caught. The gap is probably 50 metres now. Trying desperately to get back on terms with this young athlete, Lynsey Sharp. She's a 2.6 athlete, though. That's very classy running indeed for a youngster, and she comes through now with just over 1 lap to run. Everard of Ireland trying desperately in this final leg for that Irish quartet to make inroads, but the gap is still 40 or 50 metres, Stuart, with a lap to go.
Yeah, 400 metres to go for Lynsey Sharp. Enjoy this. Ciara Everard then with 400 metres to go, and then the development team, that's Kirsty Hunter. Kirsty from the Falkirk and Victoria Harriers. She takes over the baton ahead of the Welsh athlete Katie Parker, who really had an awful lot of work to do after the 200 metre runs. But I'm just looking, it's 50 metres still, and there's just over 200 metres to go.
Well, she glances up at the big screen at the end of the statement in front of her there, does young Lynsey Sharp, and she will see that she's got a very, very comfortable cushion behind her back to Everard of Ireland, who actually herself knows under a bit of threat from the development team athlete Kirsty Hunter here. She's only a 2.10 athlete, is Kirsty Hunter, but she's beginning to gain on the Irish athlete.
Well, Lynsey Sharp then. Just look at the Irish team. Everard now being passed by Hunter for the development squad. It's Kirsty Hunter, but this is a very good win by the Scottish athlete Lynsey Sharp. Kerry Easton, Nick Smith, Jamie Cull, Lynsey Sharp, the quartet that have brought the Bank of Scotland Celtic Cup home. 3:45.44. Ireland second, the development club team in 3rd place, and then Wales in 4th place. So just repeat that time, 3:45.44, but the times don't matter really. It was double points. Scotland were in the lead before this overall, and they've extended their lead even further now. It was a tough old 800 metres, but when they were so far ahead, Lynsey Sharp, but having said that, Sharp looked pretty good to me.
Well, we'll take a look at the changeover here between the Scottish lead-off athlete. That, of course, was Kerry Easton, Nick Smith in over 200 metres. Now, I wrote earlier on today that the rules for this particular medley relay suggest that the changeovers can be flexible. That is, the rules that are normally adhered to very, very strictly don't have to be in this case. Well, certainly the athlete there, that's the second 200-metre athlete, the male athlete, so that's okay for him to cross over the line. They're already on the inside line.
Quite right. And so there's the handover, and that's the handover from Jamie Cull to Lynsey Sharp, and that's Abidawali Ademeyewu for Wales, just getting out of the way if he can. Everard from Doyle, and Parks for Wales, Katie Parks. But that's a relaxed look on that face, a very competent young woman, and Dad must be proud, so must Mum. She looks as though she's got a future in this. You say at 2.6, oh, she's got a lot to improve, but I'm sure she will. She's not that old.
Well, her dad was a European silver medalist at 200 metres, and her mum a world-class 800 metre runner, so perfect pedigree there for young Lynsey Sharp, who brought the Scottish squad home victorious.